good morning, or good afternoon, depending on which time zone you are tuning in from. But either way, I thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Before I get started with my presentation, I'd like to first extend a big thank you to Sam and the amazing RESO staff for thinking outside the box and coming up with a way for us to deliver key content in this forum that will continue to push our industry forward while we are sitting and waiting for normalcy to resume. My name is Liz Tewksbury. I am the Senior MLS Account Manager at Homesnap. Prior to that, I was a product manager of a large regional MLS. Because I've worn a variety of hats in our industry, I'm able to bring a unique perspective, both that of a vendor as well as from the MLS. My goal for this presentation is to really just take us back to the basics, to remember our why. Something that we've likely all been doing in these past weeks and will continue to do in the coming months as we continue to push toward returning to our normal state of living. When I started to put this presentation together, I thought back to the first time that I attended a RESO conference. Even though I had been in the industry for quite some time, I was just scratching the surface of understanding the importance of adopting RESO standards. I remember going to that conference looking for my why. I knew that RESO creates the standards that drive innovation in our industry, but what I learned at that first conference was that adopting RESO standards results in faster software development and more accurate, robust, and informative data for agents, brokers, and consumers. In 2018, I presented at the RESO Spring Conference in Denver about real-world implementation of RESO data dictionary standards. And today, I'm here to provide you with a real-world example of how agents, brokers, consumers, and vendors can benefit from adoption of RESO standards and how those standards helped to simplify Homesnap's large-scale functionality upgrade. When we first launched Homesnap, we had 6 simple search filters. Over time, we collected requests from agents, brokers, and MLSs to add additional filters. As you can imagine, the requests varied greatly across markets, and we knew that in order to serve our MLS partners equally, we needed to use one reliable source to determine what our filters would be. The clear and obvious resource was RESO. What we found during our development is that when an MLS adopts a RESO standard field, we could easily match that data to our filters in a simple one-to-one mapping. For example, using fields such as pool private with selections of yes, no, or waterfront also with selections of yes, no. However, we also learned that there are other fields where that data can turn our filter into a yes. So we knew that we needed to expand our search for this information into other RESO standard fields. For example, for pool, we collected data from pool features, association amenities, or community features. And for waterfront, we rely on data from fields such as waterfront features, lot features, or frontage type. That was the easy part. When an MLS is not using standard fields, the consequences of that affect everybody who is consuming the data: vendors, agents, brokers, and buyers and sellers. If I were in the room with you right now, I would ask you to raise your hand if you've ever had to explain to someone why expected results were not coming up in their search. For a public portal like Homesnap, it all comes down to the data we are receiving. When the data isn't available in standard fields, our developers have to adjust their filters to use additional fields, and that is if we can even locate where that data may be. With hundreds of MLS data feeds coming in, you can imagine the manual process that this entails. This can be a source of frustration for brokers, agents, and their clients, along with any buyer or seller who may be attempting to search for property in a market that is not using RESO standards. I'm happy to report that with our new upgrade, we now have 23 search filters, all using RESO standard fields. Our new advanced search filters put us on par with the other big players in the world of home search. With more granular search filters, we can now narrow down the homes to meet your specific search criteria. using fields such as parking, waterfront, pools, or even pet-friendly rental properties, just to name a few. Adopting RESO standards will provide more accurate results when searching for properties, which benefits everyone. That is the why that most of us are looking for. Thank you so much to all of those MLSs that are innovating and pushing the standards forward. It not only helps agents, brokers, and consumers, but it vastly improves the products that Homesnap is able to deliver. Thank you again so much for giving me the opportunity today, and I look forward to seeing you all in person at the next RESO conference.